What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Godspeed ZRZ. Now today I want to change things up a little bit and give you guys something pretty exciting. So I'm going to take this Rubicon 392 down to CarMax and see what they think it's worth. Now, dealing with CarMax, just trying to get a trade appraisal out of them has gotten a little bit harder throughout the years with everybody making videos about getting their number from there. But since I've been in the car business for the last 5 years, I've definitely got some tricks up my sleeve. So I think I've got a little bit of a competitive advantage to get a good number out of them. I'm gonna go through the process, show up as a normal customer, act like I'm trading the 392, and get a real offer out of them. That way we know what this thing's worth. Now, this Jeep has 12,348 miles on it right now, and if you've watched any of the videos, you know it's been beat up quite a bit. So they're gonna see some character on it. There's definitely some flaws, and the inside's filthy, but we'll see what they say. Now, the original sticker on this unit was somewhere right around 78 grand. I'll post that picture right here, that way you guys can see it. And with that being said, obviously we've been in a crazy car market bubble. So the prices have went crazy high. They went back to kind of normal-ish. So here recently, a lot of the more typical vehicles have reached their normal price. You can at least buy new cars for MSRP at a lot of different places. So that is a good thing. A lot of the specialty vehicles like the 392s, like the TRXs, that stuff is still going over sticker. So I'm interested to see what a random lot is going to appraise something like this at right now, especially with the crazy times we're still kind of in. So we're pulling up right now. What I'm actually gonna do is drive around the lot if I can and try to find a car to pick out. And whenever I pick out the car, I basically don't want to waste too much of the salesperson's time. Like I said, I've been in the business for a while, so I know how this goes. But I think it's a fair opportunity to go get an actual number on this thing to see what they're actually willing to put into it. But we'll pick out a car that we actually kind of like, show some interest in, and then we'll just get straight to trying to get some numbers. Hopefully keep this under about a 30-minute job. So I found this GLE 450. It's an AMG package, and it's got like 60,000 miles on it. I think the price is only $50,000, so nothing too crazy, but it's definitely something that's at least comparable to a powerful SUV, I guess. So I think this will be a really reasonable bet to basically just show some interest in and get a number on the 392. But whenever I walked in, I basically just told them I was just looking first to set the hook. Walked out here, gonna say that I found this and just want to see some numbers on what it's going to look like. I really don't want to have to drive this thing, but if I need to sell the story, definitely do it. So they're doing the appraisal on it now. They're going to pull up another car for me in the meantime to drive. I'm going to go out and actually pick up something I need from Walmart anyway while they're doing the full appraisal. It takes about 30 minutes, so just to kill that time, then we'll come back and have some numbers. So everything is going extremely smoothly so far. Got a great salesperson, so he's helping out, and he's definitely with the plan here. So I'm going to drive this actually to Walmart, like I already said, pick up something I need. Now, their trade appraisal process is pretty in-depth. It's pretty thorough. That's actually why I wanted to bring it here. Where they are a used car store, they go a little further in depth than most dealerships do. They go over not a true inspection, but they really look at the car cosmetically, and they do hook it up to make sure there's any codes. So a lot of that stuff is pretty cool. Now with mine, it is set up quite a bit different. So before they took it for the drive, or I assume they're going to drive it, before they did any of that, I put it back into all-wheel drive. That way nobody's going to die. Took it out of sport mode, the off-road plus, made sure that's not engaged. Did all that little stuff, that way somebody could just jump in it and be fine, drive it. Don't like them driving it, or the idea of someone else driving it, but it's definitely worth it to get a real price for it. He said that one other person had actually traded one, or they had got one in there, and they had it listed for an astronomically insane price. And with that price, that was at the height of the car market bubble. They ended up not being able to sell it there and transferred it to a Florida store, and it sold within 3 days. So they were all extremely excited to hear I had a 392 that I was considering trading. So I'm excited to see what the number is going to be. I think it's going to be a pretty accurate number for what it should be in the market. CarMax typically does either give a really high number or a really low number. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully they're excited enough to give me all the money. But for now, we're driving this GL 450. It's an AMG package. I think these are pretty slow. Well, they're not fast, that's for sure. I think the 0 to 60 time on these is somewhere maybe around 5 seconds, something like that. But it's a great way to kill some time. So guys, we did finally get an offer, and I don't think you're gonna expect this. It's a little bit different than probably anybody was thinking. So that did not really go as planned, but let me explain why. So we did get an official appraisal number. They did the full process. Apparently with CarMax, whenever they do an appraisal, they put all the information together, send it off to a different store, and they're the ones that put a number on it. They do the same for other stores. Or maybe just the guy that does it wasn't there today. Now, with all that being said, once they sent everything off, the appraiser apparently said that they would not be able to retail this vehicle at CarMax. So essentially, you've got two options whenever you buy something as a dealership. You can either retail it, that just means sell it on the lot just like normal, or you can wholesale it. So that just means you can sell it to a wholesaler or sell it at auction. So with this case, they were saying that they were not going to be able to retail it because with the parts added, they wouldn't be able to add their warranty on it. So that's kind of weird. They said they had a 90-day, 3,000-mile warranty, whatever the case may be for that. But with that, they said that this would have to be all stock for them to be able to retail it and give me the best number. Now, they still did give me a number, and it was decent. It wasn't horrible, and I'm about to show you in just a second, but it was still pretty bad. So apparently they want me to take off the 38 by 1550s with the 20 by 12 wheels, even though it's all on stock suspension. So none of the geometry's changed. It's just got bigger wheels and tires. And they also want the stock exhaust. They said with those two parts changed, they would be able to retail it and they'd be confident to give me the highest number that I can get. Now, with that, I explained, I said it's stock suspension and it's actually stock exhaust. It's all OEM equipment. It just doesn't have a muffler and a resonator, and I use the tips as the exit pops. They don't really understand that stuff, so it didn't really matter. And even though I said it wasn't lifted, I'm sure the guy that was doing the appraisal thought it was lifted anyway. So they don't really know that much about the 392s. And I mean, how could they? They've only sold one, or they've only had one so far. So I don't really want to put that on them. They did their job and they tried pretty hard. But for the number on the appraisal offer, it is at $67,000. Now that was with everything considered, and of course they're saying the tax savings of $4,690. That's just because in Tennessee you don't pay taxes on the entire amount of the purchase. You just pay taxes on the difference. So if you trade a $15,000 car on a $30,000 car, you only pay taxes on the $15,000. So that's what they're talking about for that. But they truly only offered $67,000. Now you guys have seen all the abuse that this thing's been through, but they haven't. So that number was pretty shocking. And he said straight up, he said, hey, listen, if you'll put the stock equipment and bring it back in, I guarantee it'll be at or above the mid-70s because we'll be able to retail it. Whenever they try to get a value from auction prices, they just look to see what they've been going for in different areas. Now for the 392s, I'm sure there hasn't been that many in this area, and probably not many in that many areas in general that go through auction. Most of them are going to be retailed. So with that case, they didn't really have much to base it off of. So they probably looked at one or two different auction prices that they went for and just gave me that roundabout number. Now, they said if they are able to retail it, obviously, like I already said, it's going to go up quite a bit. But it's just shocking to see that they're at $67,000 for what this is right now. Well, let me know what you guys think about that appraisal. I know it was quite a bit different than what I was expecting, but let me know if you thought that was right on par with where it should be, or if you were shocked at how low or maybe even how high it was. Now, with all things considered, the market is still extremely volatile, so it's going to take a while for it to settle and for prices to be more consistent. Each place you go right now is going to be quite a bit different. They're going to base everything on different parameters. But at least we know CarMax is sticking to their typical trend of being extremely low on vehicles kind of like this. Now, like I already said, I could put the stock equipment back on it, take it back there and see what the difference is, but that's a lot of work. So if you guys do want to see that, please drop it down in the comments below. I don't mind to put in the work for you. I just want to know that some of you want to see it. If you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think and let me know what you want to see next. But until next time, Godspeed. Next time I'm going to take my totaled Camaro and see what they say about that.